They are at the start of their journey, they think outside the box, and they often come up with bright ideas. Their projects are innovative, they are a new generation of business people, and their distinguishing features are creativity and enthusiasm. This is the World of Startups, the program about IT developers and the industry of startups.
Hello, I'm Serik Akishev, and this is the World of Startups. Today on this edition, you will find out the answers to obvious questions at first sight. For example, does the internet have a home? Interested? Then watch the edition. Kazakhstan has launched a unified online system of selling bus tickets. Which startup can make it in Kazakhstan? Watch an interview with coach and writer Brandon Cooper. Servers, units and workstations. What does the modern Kazakhstani data processing center look like? Recently in Astana, there has been presented a unified electronic system of selling bus tickets. It was created by programmers from Uskemén in cooperation with the Center for Technology Commercialization. To realize this project, long awaited for many, the Minister of Education and Science has allocated 18 million tenge. Our correspondents have tested the application and are ready to tell you about their impression. According to the Ministry of Transport, as of 2014, 76% of the populated area of the country, both cities, towns and settlements, with more than 100 people, is provided regular passenger transportation. By 2016, it is planned to increase the area with regular bus routes up to 80%. Meanwhile, regular bus trips remain one of the least developed industries in the country. Before now, all the intercity bus tickets were only available at bus terminals or bus stations. The information about the coach trips was not reliable because of communication problems between terminals in different cities and towns.
Aparubus идет принципиально по другой схеме.
Aparubus follows a completely different scheme. We don't try to automate the bus terminals. We're automating the communication between terminals instead.
Общение автовокзалов, коммуникацию между автовокзалами.
Unified system of online bus ticket sales Aparubus allows passengers to buy their tickets without leaving their place with the help of their bank card. Apart from buying tickets, bus passengers can book their seats not only one way, but also booking and buying return tickets, which was not common before. Today, at the first stage of Project Aparubus, bus terminals of Astana and Uskemén have been involved. The sales of electronic tickets have been open for 140 routes to 41 destinations. By the way, the service will be convenient for transportation companies too. For them, several functions have been developed. Any passenger transport company can control the process of the ticket sales, the filling of the passenger seats, see how reasonable it is to get an extra bus if there are more passengers than planned. Before now, all this information was only available from the terminals. In the near future, the electronic database of Aparubus will have more routes to different cities from almost any point in Kazakhstan. On the way of these routes, a chain of company agencies will be set up, which will make buying and returning the tickets straightforward in remote areas of the country. Brand Cooper, a coach and writer, is in high demand and very popular with thousands of startups from around the world. Having experience as a marketing managing director, he knows how to start a business from scratch. This is what we are going to talk to him about now. Hello, Brand. What criteria should a successful startup meet?
Well, I think that the most entrepreneurs are eager to get big too quickly. And that's a good aspiration, is to get big and to try to conquer big problems. But really, in order to find the value that you're going to create customers, you have to start small. And so that's a tough thing for entrepreneurs and investors to wrap their heads around. And so this is what Lean Startup teaches, is how do you focus in on a smaller market segment to prove out the value before you try to go big.
How would you describe the climate for investment in Kazakhstan?
So I think Kazakhstan's just getting started, and that's great. I think it's, again, it's the future of all economies, is to be able to create businesses that are going to be here local. Kazakhstan has got a very large territory and relatively small amount of population. And so I think that in order to get a really big startup, they probably have to go eventually outside of Kazakhstan, and then they have to figure out where's the next place to go. Should they go to Europe or should they go to Russia? I guess I don't really know, but my answer right now would probably be to go to Europe, both Eastern Europe, where there's emerging markets, and Western Europe, where there's still a lot of competition, but I think that Kazakhstan could compete there.
If you were a Kazakhstani startup, which product would you decide to develop?
What's interesting to me is just traveling around the city the last couple of days is that there's what I would call a concierge MVP version of UberX that is part of the Kazakhstan culture that's been around for years. In other words, people are hitchhiking all across the city, and people are paying for the drivers. So somebody should build an app for that. And I understand that here in Kazakhstan, there's not that many credit cards in use, but maybe you could use debit cards instead. So I think that somebody should be building an application for all of these hitchhikers that are here in the city, that money is already exchanging hands. There's a problem to be solved right there.
Thank you very much, Brent, for the useful conversation. Now I know what kind of startup will succeed for sure tomorrow. Goodbye. On the internet, one may find lots of interesting video clips about so-called data centers at Google, and almost no one has seen what our Kazakhstani data centers look like. We decided to visit one, which is considered one of the most modern in the country. Which technologies do they apply for keeping and protecting data? Find out from the upcoming report. Kazakhstani data centers cannot be compared to their foreign analogues, as they are not as large as the latter, as there are fewer market players in Kazakhstan. Unlike other IT spheres, data centers are at the stage of infancy. However, a few large state data centers technologically are on par with foreign ones.
Казахтелеком имеет распределенную сеть.
Telecom has an extended network of data centers. Their total number is 16. They are used for delivering services in cloud technologies.
Используется для предоставления услуг облачных технологий.
One of such data centers is in Park of Innovative Technologies Alatau. When it was being constructed, the most advanced technologies were used for storing information on disks, data and outsourcing computation that can cope with even the most complicated mathematical calculus for geological explorations for oil companies. The heart of the data center are 83 working stations. Each of them is designed for 41 units, which in total gives 3,200 servers. Considering the fact that a large enterprise usually requires from 50 to 100 servers, at its full capacity, this data center can supply the service to up to 300 large companies. The data center can be compared to a small town which has its own infrastructure and security system. For fires, for instance, special gas is used to put out flames so that important equipment is not damaged. To back up the work, copying files on reserve is available, which, like torrents, allocates the saved information to all the 16 data centers of Kazakh Telecom. One more important factor to consider is that for normal operation, the center requires constant temperature, humidity and steady power supply. For this reason, the center has a power generating station and a backup power system. The system of backup power, which can operate up to half an hour, that is until the time we switch the main system, the power station allows the center to work as long as there is enough diesel fuel. According to the state plan of Program IT Kazakhstan 2020, in the next 5 years it is planned to set up a data center in each major city of Kazakhstan. They will be aimed at mostly work in a state sector. That's all for today. You can learn more about our projects and get to know their initiators better in our groups on Facebook and vk.com. See you next week on Kazakh TV.
Телеканале Казах ТВ. Пока.